Hello, and a very good evening to all of you. Waiting for waiting for all of you to join in. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and this is the Sunday evening show. It's called Work on Workplace Relations with Aastha, and today we'll be talking about the most difficult part of the journey, yet the most profound one. I'm going to tell you which is that part which is difficult, but it's the most profound. I think, in my experience, um, it's at the core of the transformation. If you are looking at personal transformation, then this is it. This has to be there. And I'm going to share from my book, of course. I'm going to read out one of the chapters, chapter 7 from my book, Survive or Thrive. And just to let you know, when we talk about work on workplace relationships, I think all the challenges that anybody faces, confronts at the workplace, I always say they all boil down to relationships. Either the relationships are strained or the connects are missing. Yeah, and that's where people struggle with whatever the challenges are. And this show is an attempt to pick up elements of workplace relationships and talk about them, delve deeper, and also to pick up a very important aspect. Sometimes most of the topics, even the topic today, has more to do with your journey inwards. It's about your relationship with yourself. And why is that relevant? Because when we talk about relationships outside, when we talk about workplace relationships, it actually is about your relationship with yourself. Whatever is the quality of relationship out there, it's a reflection of how your relationship is with yourself. Hence, a lot of these topics within this show and within this Survive or Thrive series, the Survive or Thrive series is pretty much about the book, are to do with your relationship with yourself. And what I'm going to talk about today, the most difficult part of the journey, is also, it's got something to do with that journey inwards towards your relationship with yourself. Yeah. So once again, a very warm welcome. I see some of you have joined online. Thank you so much for joining in. And just a quick reminder, please let me know when you join in, drop in a hi, and also maybe put in your views, share your views, whatever are the thoughts coming to you as we progress, as you listen, whatever comes to your mind, your experiences, do put them in the comment box. Would love to hear. Yeah. So I'm picking up this chapter 7 from the book. It's called Survive or Thrive, and the book is about turning around your leadership journey from fear to joy. When you're leading from fear, how inspiring is that? Every day there is struggle, there is pain that you go through. You may have access, you may not have access about how do you go about dealing with it, but how can you really transform or turn around that fear to joy? How about you taking your leadership to the next level? That's what it is all about, right? So this is chapter number 7. It's called Carry Your Brahmastra. And today I'm going to talk about that Brahmastra only. Okay. So do you know what is the most difficult part of this journey, which is what we're going to talk about? Surprisingly, it does make life easier and full of joy. It is also the most powerful way to love yourself. The last time we'd spoken about how do you deal with a boss who's treating you in a way that you don't like. You don't want to be treated like that. And that's where I had brought in self-love, right? How important it is to love yourself, to stand with yourself. And only when you love yourself will you really be able to stand up for yourself, bring in that compassion, that love, and literally turn around things. Yeah. Now, this one today, what I'm talking about, the Brahmastra, the difficult part of the journey, supposedly, is one of the most powerful ways that I have experienced in which you can love yourself. Okay. And what is that? It's called being yourself. Being yourself. You would have heard it a lot of times, not something new, but spare yourself the pain by living a life of pretense. What pretense? Now you may ask. I am living my life, aren't you? You may ask, I'm living my life. What pretense are you talking about? My question would be, really? Are you living your life? In the earlier sessions, in the previous chapters here, you saw how you want to become someone who you believe you are supposed to be to get everyone's approval and validation. You have the limiting beliefs that are governing you, and you live your life based on these beliefs. Every time you try to be someone who you are not at the core or with which you cannot resonate, you are killing a part of you. You're pulling yourself down. Hence, the more you do it, you keep going up the ladder. You keep going up the ladder, but in the process, you feel sad. There's a void that develops somewhere. So, those of you who wonder, why do I feel that hollow, that void, something's missing, despite the growth happening, the growth on the corporate ladder, in the corporate hierarchy, and looks all looks fine, but there's something missing, and you feel that pinch, you feel that struggle, and you don't know what it is. And that's where the limiting beliefs which are governing you and you trying to be someone who you are not is causing you the pain, is causing you the struggle. And every time you do more of it, oh, this is who I'm supposed to be, this is how I'm supposed to present myself, this is how I'm supposed to behave. When you're living in the world of supposed to, I think every time you do that, you kill a part of you. I have experienced it. From my childhood, I've been portraying some character who I absolutely was not. And I got so far away from myself, so detached, with no connect. The gap became so massive that it's become very difficult to reconnect. The pain was so massive. It was traumatizing. That's the impact. We don't realize. And when we reach a point where that pain becomes intolerable, we feel the journey is too difficult to take. And therefore, a lot of us choose, I'm using the word choose, a lot of us choose to stay within that. It's okay. That's how life is going to be. This is how it has to be. I can't change much, because this is how I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I want to take you back to childhood, just like with a child. What happens with a child? When you force the child to behave in a certain manner that he's not up to, he gets cranky and rebels. Similarly, you express your crankiness and rebelliousness too, maybe differently. You empty on people who are closest to you, your spouse, your parents, your children, teammates, because you don't like who you are becoming. That gives rise to a tussle between two parts of you. One which says, be this, be that, supposed to, must do, have to, and the other part which just wants to be. Just be. Right? So, and look at the irony. The tussle between these two goes on, and this part, which is living in supposed to, must do, have to, I'm supposed to be like this, it overpowers the other one. We don't even pay heed to the other part. That part of me which wants to just be, wants to just do nothing, maybe. Like that which is my authentic self, my core self. Yeah. And you wonder, why am I behaving like this? Why did I shout? Why did I say that? You keep regretting, don't you? And you keep wondering, when I know that's not the most desired way, I did it the last time, I try not to do it, and yet I end up doing it again and again. The answer is right there. The answer is right there. You are forcing yourself to live a life or to be somebody who you are not. And just like a child, you then rebel. Your inner child rebels. It cannot be that. It cannot take that pain. And hence you behave. And your closest and the near and dear ones are the ones at the receiving end. Happens? Able to relate? This tussle is a trap. The tussle between a part of you which is supposed to be like this, must do this, have to do this, and the other part which just wants to be, right? You keep getting deeper into it. And by the same design of the brain that we discussed earlier, the pattern gets bigger and stronger, and it becomes tougher to think otherwise. You get so engrossed, you get so deep into living that life of, this is how I'm supposed to be, this is how I have to behave, this is what I must do, and there's no other way, that there is really no other way for you. That choice doesn't even exist for you. It's become so much a part of you, you know no other way of living your life. And because the design of the brain is that the pattern that you formed, this is how I'm supposed to be, this is how people will accept me, people will like me only if I am like this, those patterns, living them every day, every day, every day, every day, you make them so big, they are so massive that it becomes difficult. It's not a pattern for you, it's reality, it's a part of you. So if I tell you today, look at your pattern, people are not able to look at patterns. For me, for a very, very long time, I used to wonder, what beliefs are you talking about? What patterns are you talking about? I can't see anything. I mean, this is how I think and this is how I lead my life. Simple. What patterns? Because for my brain, me and my belief are one single entity. It's one single thing. So there is no way I'm able to distinguish, okay, this is a belief which is separate from me. It is something that I have picked up. It is governing me. It is impacting me. Difficult. Yeah. So that pattern becomes stronger, bigger, tougher. What started as an original, unique being over time translates into a new being but loses its originality. We forget who we are. The question is how to get back to that original you. How to get back to you, the authentic you, the original you. I feel that original you is hidden somewhere deep down inside. That's who you were born as. It's not lost anywhere. It's not some new creation that needs to be done. It's just hidden somewhere. और वो हम बोलते हैं ना कि किसी पे layers चढ़ जाती हैं. The beliefs, the layers of beliefs have kind of hidden it somewhere deep down inside, but it's right there. You buried him under the heavy belief system. That you must come out. That calls for you to bring out the child within. Were you born with all that you carry today? Now, that's a question you need to ask yourself. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you think, this is what it is, this is how it's supposed to be, were you really born with it? You say, I'm angry. You say, I am a very negative person. You say, I am a failure, or you say, I'm very short tempered, or I am X, Y, Z, all those labels that you put to yourself. Were you born with those labels? Like, really? No. Then it's time to break the shackles of your beliefs. Get back to your roots. Get back to where you belong. And you shall get connected to your uniqueness. So if you really want to get to the core of who you are, you really want to connect with yourself, you want to discover. I'm using the word discover because consider you don't even know who you are. Like every time I ask this question to people, how well do you know yourself? People say, oh yeah, of course I know myself very, very well. Like, really? Really? Yes, you know yourself well, but you know this new being that you've created over time, which has lost the originality. That's not the real you. And yes, you know this you by all means, but the real you, which was how you were born, is kind of hidden somewhere. And that's where you need to get back where you belong. And you shall get connected to your uniqueness. You would get connected to your core. You will experience peace. You will experience happiness. That's the only way you want to experience happiness. This is like literally Brahmastra. This is literally Brahmastra. Suddenly, all this that you struggle with will not matter, and what matters will start to shine in your life. Today, wherever you are stuck, all that bothers you, all that gives you pain, all that takes away your peace, you are busy dealing with that. Because somewhere you've lost that connect with yourself. There's a huge gap. You don't even know who you are. Huge gap. Now, when you start to connect with yourself, what does that mean? When you get connected to, okay, this is who I am, this is what I really want. At the core, I want to be loved. At the core, I want to give love to everybody. And that is where you will start to see there is a lot of peace, there is a lot of calm, there is a lot of clarity. Suddenly, you will realize, what battles am I fighting? Yeah. And that's where you will really see what matters in life. That will start to shine in your life. Yeah. I've already shared with you how throughout my life I was being someone else. I was trying to portray a perfect Aastha to the world, to those who mattered and to even those who didn't. Hi Ashish, good evening, just saw your message. Thank you for joining in. Yep. So I was talking about how in my life, hi Satish ji, thank you so much. Thank you for your all the love. Yeah. I was trying to portray a perfect Aastha to the world, to those who mattered and to even those who didn't. And in the process of attending to the world, I completely ignored the one who mattered the most, me. And it's not an event or a moment that is done and dusted. No. It was a journey that I set out on of pushing myself lower and lower on the priority list. When I set out on another journey, that of reconnecting with myself, I felt I had done grave injustice to myself. I had abandoned Aastha. I needed me the most and above all. And feeling guilty was also a choice. I refused to make that choice. So I had a choice that I can go on feeling guilty. What have I done? Where have I left myself? I've put myself low on priority. Whatever I'm feeling today, struggling with today, is because of me. There's a choice. Feel guilty? But I said, no, I'm not going to make that choice. The feeling around this realization and discovery was that of excitement. However, it was not a specific moment, but a lot of moments put together that helped me access this track. My trip to me, which is still on, by the way, has been nothing short of miracles. It's as if the entire universe is on a mission to guide me to where I belong. And I'm not saying this because I felt it once, twice. I've realized Every time during this journey now, if I talk about my present, I just get this sense that universe is speaking with me. Even when I'm feeling low, even when there is a breakdown, yeah, I just look up to universe. And though that journey is mine, though I have to go through that entire thing, which is part of the transformation, by the way. We want, somehow, if I can just cut short this journey, somehow, if I can get out of this phase, I am saying that phase is a part of the transformation. That phase is so much a part of you. It's going to take you towards greatness. And that's where I get that sense that universe is speaking with me, universe is guiding me, and I see miracles happening. Things turn up, I don't know from where. Things are happening for me, life is happening for me. My expression has gone to the next level. I say whatever I'm thinking and I do as I say. That's a big way to show respect to me. I confront my fears, I'm proud of who I am and even who I am not. During my early corporate days, I remember feeling jealous of other people on so many occasions. Yes, I remember secretly disliking people because I didn't approve of them and they would do things that I thought I could not. That's why we feel jealous, right? And we kill ourselves, we blame ourselves, we pull ourselves down. How can I feel this? I would not like my boss appreciating someone else because I associated it with I'm not good enough. Others' accomplishments would make me uneasy because that's what I also wanted. Oh, he's able to do it. I haven't done it. He's getting all the appreciation. I'm not good enough. And my recurring belief, very, very strong one, was I'm not good enough. Every time something like this happened, it got triggered and I felt jealous. But that's not what I really wanted. Did I really want to feel jealous? Did I really want to pull myself down? Did I really want to get uneasy, restless when somebody else was being appreciated? No. And that's not where I belonged. It was very, very painful. And you know who all were giving me that pain? Who were those people who were giving me pain? It's very interesting. So hear me out. It was me, and me. Nobody else. Because I was not good enough, becoming someone else to be able to prove myself was almost a crime that I committed. Always trying to prove myself. And I say it was a crime because it took me so far away from me. I have, as I was writing this, I clearly remember when I was writing this part, I had tears in my eyes. Literally, it gave me goosebumps recalling that moment, the pain that it brought. I had tears in my eyes. And then there's a smile too. While I took myself away from myself, I am the one who's bringing myself to rediscover myself. And I am so proud of it. I literally am. And every time I read this part, every time I recall that journey where I was absolutely disconnected with myself, I was trying to put up a facade, living somebody else, proving myself, feeling jealous, feeling what's happening. I'm not this. I'm supposed to be this. And from there, the journey to connecting with myself, identifying who I am, choosing not to feel guilty, choosing not to pull myself down, and standing up for myself. I think that journey makes me feel very, very, very proud. Very proud. Yeah. And I also feel immense gratitude to the universe for holding my hand and guiding me along. I can tell you for a fact, I used to only hear this out. Universe is there, trust the universe, and I used to wonder, what is this all about? That universe speaks to you, you get all your answers. I think that's been the biggest miracle of my life. where I have gotten answers. I have heard universe shout out loud to me so many times till the time I got my lesson. And I've seen universe giving me what I deserved, but it came to me only when I deserved it. That's one big distinction. I I'm the same person. No, I'm not. When I was that person, I got whatever I deserved. I got what was in sync and in harmony with the frequency I was vibrating at. And today, when I'm a different person, I've gotten whatever I deserve today, whatever is in sync with the frequency I'm vibrating at. And tomorrow, as I vibrate at a higher frequency, I'm going to get way more, and that which is in sync with that frequency. So it's all there. Only you will be able to feel the tears that you've been shedding silently or upfront. Remember, no one gets you like you. This is very, very powerful, and it's really powerful. No one gets you like you. You want people to understand, you want people to empathize, you want people to sympathize, right? But remember, your tears, your pain, it's for you to understand, it's for you to feel, and the way you will get it, no one else will get it. No one else. When you stand up for yourself and you decide that you are no longer going to live like this, that is the sunrise moment in your life. Get ready to experience a new relationship with yourself, belonging to yourself. Yeah. Um, I don't know, I just want to read this again. When you stand up for yourself and you decide that you are no longer going to live like this, like literally you make that choice. It's a choice that you have to make. It's a decision that I am not going to live this life anymore. I'm not going to hold back those tears or cry up front and feel that pain every day. No. When you make that choice, that is the sunrise moment in your life. And get ready to experience a new relationship with yourself. And what's that? Belonging to yourself. Today, I feel very confident and happy about myself. I have gotten who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin. I am who I am and don't want to pretend. I don't want to pretend. This is who I am. Suddenly, all competition has disappeared. Like, literally. The only competition I have is with myself, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I have started to appreciate other people's perspectives. I have started to accept that the other person's behavior is an outcome of his beliefs. I feel more in charge now. Every barrier of mine that I overcome is another step towards getting closer to me, and I celebrate it. I celebrate it. Disempowering emotions are now replaced by very empowering emotions and states. Yes, it's a journey. Yeah. There are moments of lack. While I'm sharing with you, and every time I share, every time I sit down and reflect on what's the journey been like, where have I come, I just feel my heart swells, with pride. And yet I understand that the reality is that there are moments of lack. I'm a human being. We are all human beings. There are moments when I go back to my old self. However, to be able to accept that, be okay with it, and then get back to a more empowering state is also a process that I'm doing over and over again. Some days it takes longer than others. Some days I'm able to snap out of it, but other times it takes longer. But I am at it. I do not leave my side. I stay aware of my thoughts. Awareness plays a big, big role. I keep observing myself. Then I have a conversation with myself. And then I do what I really want to do. So when I say no one gets you like you do. Nobody understands you the way you do. Only you can really nail, okay, this is what I'm going through. This is what's happening. And then you go back through all of it again. You go through that breakdown, you go through those low moments, and then again you look at yourself and you say, okay, I'm fine with it. Now what? Just to quote an example, and I think I'll finish with this example. When I feel a little low after a conversation, earlier, what I would do is I would just let it be. I would sulk for some time, run my favorite patterns, and finish. Now I ask myself what triggered me and I get to the depth of it. That's the difference. Earlier, I would feel disempowered, I would feel low, and immediately I would get into that victim mode, sulking mode, and I would just let it be. And after a while, maybe I'll be okay, or maybe a few days later. But now, since I'm committed to myself, I don't want to be in that state. I'm more aware of myself. So I immediately ask myself what triggered me? What makes me feel low after this conversation? What happened? What was that real stuff? And I get to the depth of it. Okay, so the other person said this, that made me feel low. What does that mean? What about it triggered something within me? Then I ask myself whether what I am thinking and feeling is the truth or just a meaning I attached to it. Then I get back to my context of the conversation or context of the relationship with the other person. Sometimes I reconnect with my purpose. Suddenly I start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. And whoosh, I start to get back into my spirit. Now I enjoy this game, like absolutely. Because you know why I enjoy it? Because I know this is going to be next level. This one experience has the potential of taking me to the next level. It's going to be a lesson for me, and I love it. It makes me feel so powerful. Imagine you can guide yourself out of a breakdown. How powerful is that? Like, I don't really need anybody. The whole expectation is somebody else needs to get me out of that victim mode, that sulking mode. He should behave so and so. The other person should say this to me so that I feel good. But I'm saying, how about you get access to that power that you hold within? How about you know that every time there's a breakdown, every time you feel low, you have all the power, you can pull yourself out of it. You don't have to rely on anybody else. Isn't that huge? For me, this was like such a big power that I have the power to turn around how I feel. I have the power to make a choice. No, 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 I'm not going to feel like this. And then I have the power to get to the depth of it, do the work, pull myself out. I just love this. Yeah. The crux is, are you willing to give yourself unconditional support and love and unlimited chances to fall and bounce back? How amazing would this version of you be? I just want to leave you with this right now. Yeah. How amazing this version of you is going to be. And yes, I'm so inspired by these words from Oprah Winfrey. I'm going to quote. I've quoted it several times, but I'm just going to quote these again. These words, when asked, what do you want? Oprah says, I want to fulfill the highest, truest expression of myself as a human being. When asked, what do you want? She says, I want to fulfill the highest, truest expression of myself as a human being. When you live your truest, highest expression of yourself, not only do you elevate your own existence, but you elevate everyone you touch along with you. And that's what I live by. I think that's the inherent purpose of every human being. we say, what's my purpose of being here? You may have, you may work towards discovering those purposes, but the inherent purpose of every human being is this: to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself as a human being. If I can be the highest and truest version of Aastha, I've lived my purpose. Now, how do I do that? My medium of doing it is coaching. Somebody else's medium could be something else. But in everything that I do, if I'm living the highest and the truest expression of myself as a human being, I'm done. I'm literally done. I just so strongly relate to these words. So I want to leave you right here. I hope you found this valuable. You were able to pick your own lessons. You were able to pick your own takeaways. Do share with me. Would love to hear from you. But I think this is one thing in my entire journey of doing the work on myself, my journey of my transformation, my journey of connecting with myself. This is the most profound thing. This is the most profound part of the journey, where you connect with yourself and you learn to be yourself. Not easy, which is why I say the most difficult part of the journey. But this has the power of changing the game, completely turning around. Right? And I can tell you, there is so much love that you're going to experience. There is so much joy that you're going to experience the moment you start to be yourself. And yes, it's a journey. There's no time frame. There is, I think, no foundation that one needs to put on ourselves. I think just let it flow. Just give yourself the space and grace to go through that journey. Take your time, because it's not about reaching somewhere. I've experienced every moment of this journey as you go along. Every moment is an experience. Every moment as you go through it is a must for you to experience, because that experience will actually get you to where you want to be. It's not about learning 2 chapters and becoming yourself. It's about doing it, going through your breakdowns, going through that difficult part, yeah, and then arriving somewhere, and then again going through something and arriving somewhere. So it's not really arriving as in a destination that you're looking at. It's a journey where you see, okay, you start coming closer, and it goes on and on. And in the process, you start to impact lives. In the process, you start to impact people. You start to draw people to yourself. You become people magnet. How would that be? Yeah. Great. So leaving you all with lots of love, lots of power to get on this journey, to do the work and experience love in the most profound manner. Yeah. And it's definitely going to be magical. So have a great week ahead. Start to get aware and do write to me your experience of this show. And I'm going to see you next Sunday, same time, 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, on the show Work on Workplace Relations with Aastha. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.